Hi and welcome to the Homeopathy Health Show. I'm Tjok Gde, a fourth-generation homeopath with over 25 years of professional experience and practice in this field of healing. The Homeopathy Health Show is the online voice of homeopathy around the world, promoting and raising awareness of this truly unique system of healing, which is suitable for all ages, young and old. Every week I invite guests from the world of homeopathy to come and share their experiences, their work, offer insights, and essentially talk all things homeopathy. Why not visit www.liketreatslike.co.uk and click on the radio and podcast button to listen to the latest episodes. So let's begin today's show here on UK Health Radio, the world's #1 talk health radio. Hi everyone and welcome to this two-part special Homeopathy Health Show focusing on the healing work being done at the Tirta Usada Clinic in Bali, Indonesia. I'm your host, Tjok Gde. Last week in part 1 of this two-part special, I spoke to Tjok Gde Kerthyasa, the founder of the Tirta Usada Clinic. Tjok shared his experiences as a homeopath in Australia and how his journey in healing led him to Bali, where he founded the clinic and where he now works, teaches and lives. To listen to part 1, just head over to liketreatslike.co.uk and hit the radio and podcast tab to stream the episode on demand. Now in part 2 of this special, I'm joined this week by Jagoda Salewska from Bali, Indonesia. Jagoda's background is as a clinical pharmacist, working in a general hospital in the UK, and later joining Ainsworths Homeopathic Pharmacy as a homeopathic pharmacist. She has extensively travelled to different parts of the world, as well as providing online consultations on the international homeopathic platform Homeopathy 247. Jagoda is currently studying the transformational alchemy practitioner's course at the clinic in Bali. Jagoda, absolute pleasure. Humbling to have you on today's Homeopathy Health Show. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Tjok. Really, it surprised me when you approached me, but I'm really, really honored to be here and sharing my story with everyone who wants to listen about stories about homeopathy. So I'm very happy and privileged to be here.
Oh, thank you. It's great to have you on the show today. You have a very interesting background as a clinical pharmacist working in General Hospital. So what led you to become a homeopath as such? What was your journey? I'm sure it's going to be fascinating.
So I was originally, actually, I was a community pharmacist. I just started in a normal pharmacy and it was actually back home, Poland. And I always had this feeling that I want more. And then I had the experience being in UK for a year during my gap year. And I wanted to go back to UK as a pharmacist. And I knew that they were more clinical, even in community. They were providing different services. So my aim was to go back and work as a more kind of hands-on pharmacist who helps the community. And when I start working in community, you kind of I got the feeling at least that I'm not doing enough. I need more. So then I was 2 years down the line, I was like, I need to go to different role. And I've done some shadowing for nearly 9 months in Whittington Hospital in Archway in London, because I wanted to change my profession, but because in a way, I'd never studied in UK and I didn't have experience. I had to kind of shadow other pharmacists to know how to do it. And when being in hospitals, I thought, oh, now I will be so clinical and I will be so helping patients. And again, I kind of got disappointed because the more you know, the more clinical you become. I realized, oh my God, those patients are taking so many medicines, and am I really helping them or I'm making them worse? And the more I worked in hospitals and I changed hospital, I work also in Royal Marsden in a cancer hospital. I worked a little bit in Royal Brompton. Ended up going to Lewisham when I moved a little bit up in the band. And I realized I'm actually not helping patients as much as I wanted. And I was like, I need to find a way more natural, more holistic, where you actually help in a way that patient gets better, not need to take more medication to cover up side effects of the medication they take, and they never able to stop those medications. It didn't make any sense to me, to be honest. I was doing the job and I was good at it, but I just didn't feel it. And in 2016, just by the end of the year, I was like, I completely need to change the way I live, the way I work. And yeah, I just quit my job in hospitals. And I was thinking, with my experience as a pharmacist, what can I do? And I went for some open days to holistic colleges, and I was looking into herbs. I was looking into iridology even. But homeopathy was kind of close to me in a way that during my pharmacist training, we have one of the doctors at the university, and she was very much into homeopathy. And she also, because of that, she actually showed us how the homeopathic remedies are made. And I still had a vague memory of that, of those classes. And then I thought, maybe homeopathy is something where is actually medicine, but it's very different to allopathic medicines, but I can use my pharmacist experience. And I bought a book, Homeopathy at Home, and I went to Barcelona for like almost 2 months. And I thought, if I'm going to read this book and I still think this makes sense, I'm going to find a college to study homeopathy, which I did in April 2017. I found a College of Practical Homeopathy because as a pharmacist, I could do postgraduate studies where I could combine also work in the same time. And the moment I started college, I thought, okay, how I'm going to get experience? And having this experience of shadowing pharmacists in the past in hospitals, I thought, okay, I know 3 homeopathic pharmacies in London, and I will ask them if they can take me as a volunteer, shadowing the pharmacies there, or just anything. I would be happy to just to speed up my learning and see in the practice how it looks like. And I applied to 3 of them with the same thing, that I'm looking for a job, but I will accept anything like volunteering, shadowing. And Ainsworths at the time was looking for a pharmacist. So I got the interview. I went for the interview, and at first I thought, I'm not going to be able to really do what the pharmacist does there, because it was so different. And I was just at the beginning of my college, it was like first month of my college, and I was like, I don't know anything. And I was very scared about the responsibility and everything what it takes. Yeah. So I was doubting if I can do it, but then I was like, no, I need to do it. And I was like, okay, this is the thing. I want to take the job. And I started to work there in July 17. And yeah, that's how my journey was. So was sort of disappointment from allopathic point of view in the chronic conditions where patients are put on statins, blood pressure medications, or diabetic medications, and they never can come off. And you see that in hospitals and in community dispensing boxes and boxes of medications, and patient might not even take those medicines, or they experience side effects, and they have like almost no one to tell this, even though as a pharmacist you should be doing like reviews, but often this gets missed out, or patient doesn't want to disappoint the doctor or the family, so they will still collect the medication, even not take them as they should. So all of this made me to look for other ways to help patients on their journey to health, really, because what I was seeing was mainly journey without a progress to health. It was more continuously taking medication and progressively getting worse with the time.
It's interesting. You just said that sometimes the patients will collect the prescriptions, repeat prescriptions, just to avoid the phone call. And, that may sound maybe out there, but I tell you, that's so true, because that is the case. I know so many people who perhaps I shouldn't be sharing, but hey, it is a podcast. And they do come to visit me for homeopathy, and they do say this, and it's so true that we just don't want that hassle. So they take repeat prescriptions, and because of the side effects they're suffering from, but they give up. They think, okay, look, we're just going to have to go into the system again, and perhaps something else will happen. And there's almost this element of fear that's created, isn't it, as a result of having side effects, that, oh, what happens if I take something else and the doctor changes it? And that's actually a very important point itself. But tell me, what was it like in Ainsworths? It must be a very busy time. I know that, as you very well know, Tony Pincus has been on the podcast, and he was explaining the time during the pandemic and how, totally maxed out they were. So how is it generally, pre and post?
So Ainsworths, first time around, obviously I joined and I was introduced slowly to the role in a way. I also came and shadow pharmacists to know what's happening. And yeah, it was at the time was already busy place. And I left following year towards the end of the year because I was traveling to Asia and I didn't know if I'm going to come back or not. So I was like, I will leave. But then when I came back to Europe in 2019 and to London in October, shortly after the pandemic started. And that was really crazy times, I must say. So we really, really were hands-on, and the first weeks of pandemic, we were on the phone continuously. It was non-stop. And with the time when first lockdown was lifted, obviously people started to come back in person to the pharmacy. We never shut. We were open throughout, and we were working really hard to send all the orders, pick up all the phone calls. But obviously it was impossible because the amount of people who needed help, or they couldn't reach their doctor, or they wanted just to talk to someone, was unbelievable. And it was also amazing how with the homeopathic remedies we can help those people, because we had a tool in a way to help this anxiety, the fear, provide them with advice and the remedies at the same time, where some of them, they've been on homeopathy for years and they knew homeopathy all their life. So they wanted homeopathy. And for the first year or so, there was no other alternatives anyway. There was nothing there to offer to patients apart from painkillers. Or Ainsworths became really a hub of lots of work and advice. With nosodes which were done at the time, that also increased because people started to know about them, and they were calling and asking what's that and how do I use this, and obviously everything was kind of new, but it was not new in the history of homeopathy, because that's how you treat the disease. Yeah, if there is a threat, you make the remedy of whatever it is. Is it a sputum or some other part of the disease, and then you take it in a homeopathic form to prevent possible infection. So that was very well known concept, which was used to produce those nozzles.
Now, Jagoda, you then decided, you've done a lot of traveling, I have to say. Actually, do tell us which countries you have visited, because I know you are very well experienced as far as traveling is concerned. And perhaps you should write a book, The Homeopath's Guide to the World, or something like that, Homeopath's travel log, you know?
Well, my main travels were before pandemic, thanks God. So I got away with freedom of travel at the time. So I traveled a lot through Asia, and I also arrived to Bali in 2019 March, where actually I visited for the first time Tirta Usada, and I met Tjok Gde here in person, where I had a great experience in his clinic, observing his consultations at the time, and just being in the clinic and seeing what they do. And since then, I had this dream. I want to come back here to Bali and work actually in the clinic, and that always stayed with me. Unfortunately, we know the pandemic happened, so that was put on hold for a while. But then in 2022, end of January, February time, I moved to Canary Islands because I found my little Bali in Europe, and I moved to the smallest of the Canary Islands called El Hierro,
right?
That no one heard of, and always like El Hierro.
That must be difficult to get to, no?
Yes, there's no international airport. You need to fly to Tenerife, and then you need to go from Tenerife South to Tenerife North to take another flight, or you need to take a ferry for like nearly 2.5 hours. And
is it a populated island?
No, around 10,000 people only lives on the island, and it's very.
It's not a bad amount. That's quite a large amount, actually, for an island.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare, Bali has 4.5 million.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not so good with the geography there, but hey.
Yeah, it's actually, well, 10,000 is like little town has probably 10,000, I would say, and they are spread throughout the island, because the island is, maybe it's not big, but has different points where you can live. So there is a more southern part, which is the southern point in the Europe, and then there is a middle part and north part, and so yeah, I lived there for over 3.5 months when I happily joined International Homeopathic 247 platform during my time there. And I also traveled a little bit to Portugal and back home last year, but still at the back of my head, I had this thing that I really want to go to Bali. And when the time was right, and I just had this vision that I'm going to go there before my 40th birthday, which I did a few days before my 40th birthday, so I could celebrate it here.
Oh, wonderful. Now tell me about the Canary Islands. Did you start a practice there, or were you able to see patients, or were you just spending time enjoying well, it must be so beautiful and like paradise, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very much like a paradise. And I started to see patients online. I started seeing patients from all over the world online, because Homeopathy 247 is an international platform set up by Mary Greensmith, and that was also funny because I knew about the platform from Ainsworths time. I sometimes for some reason I had to enter the website, and I always thought, oh, that's interesting concept. And then I got to El Hierro, and I was like, I think now is the time. Maybe I will apply, and I would like to join them. And I got email from Mary, and I have a chat with her, and then she tells me, well, what a perfect timing. We just started the new kind of a lot of new people who wanted to join last week. And if you want to still join, you're more than welcome. I was like, great, I don't have to wait. So I joined straight away. And shortly after, a few weeks after, I started providing consultations on the platform. And I'm still part of the platform and working, with
It's
patients.
beautiful, isn't it? That's so beautiful, because you could be anywhere in the world, and through platforms like, let's say, Homeopathy 247, but also technology in general, it allows you to still be able to see and help patients or help people who are looking for healing through homeopathy. And that's just, I just wonder, I sometimes I'm sitting here in my clinic from where we're recording this podcast, and actually going off on tangent, I'm just thinking I'm sitting in a clinic with 4 walls around me, and you're sitting in Bali, which is totally
with no walls around me.
idyllic and beautiful. So something's not right here, is it? Anyway, going back to what I was saying, it's just so nice, isn't it? That and I think about this, that through technology, homeopaths can still have access to patients and vice versa, and you can help. It's such a nice position to be in.
And look how it makes you also a relief when you go on holidays. You can just tell your patients, if you have acute, to contact the platform without needing to refer them somewhere. And they might not need it, but the platform is there. And often we get patients who, for example, they have a homeopath, but their homeopath is on holidays or it's the middle of the night, and they can contact 24/7. That means if they are sick at 2 a.m., they don't need to wait until 7 a.m. to contact homeopath who might not have availability on the day. And if there is acute, you want to help straight away. You need that remedy here and now. You don't want to wait 5, 6, 10 hours for the remedy prescription. So the concept Mary came up with, it was just like a genius. Like, you want to have a platform with homeopaths from US to Australia, providing the service 24/7 on the shifts of 4 hours. That's the concept here. And it works. And people are really grateful, because often they would have to wait for homeopath long, or their symptoms would just progress, and they would really get worse and had to go to hospital or urgent care or GP. So it's really great thing for homeopathy.
Now tell me about Bali, because as you said, you moved there last year, and you are studying with Tjok, and you're studying transformational alchemy, a practitioner's course, a transformational alchemy practitioner's course, and you're also working as a homeopath there. So how is that? What are your experiences so far? Firstly, it's again, I say it again, it's a most beautiful place. Yes, I haven't been there, or should I say no, I haven't been there. Yes, I dream of going there, but who knows, one day, hey, soon. But you can always send me pictures, and I can just look at those and get really happy about it.
Well, as we mentioned, there might be some great excuse to come here next year. The Homeopathic conference shall be happening.
Absolutely. I will certainly be looking at that. Let's hope I get a free ticket, a VIP access with the first class flight and honors.
Of course. So I moved to Bali 3 months ago, not last year. It was last year. I was at Canary Islands and other things. Sorry, I know I've been like not staying too long in any place, so you can get confused.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, that this year, yes.
3 months here, 3 months there, and here I am. So I've been in touch with Tjok since my first visit in Bali, because my plan was to come back, and I really also admire his work. And he's been doing a lot of different workshops, especially through pandemics. And then last November, he told me, "Oh, I'm actually doing completely something different, and it's called transformational alchemy." And yeah, and I was like, "Of course, I want to be part of it." So I first part, which was 13 weeks, I was online student, where every Tuesday Bali time and probably Wednesday my time in Europe, I was watching the online recordings, and it was taking a journey through 13 astrological zodiacs, which are archetype, their connections with planets, remedies, homeopathic remedies, spagyric tinctures, and all of this together put as a system of those 13 zodiacs. 13 because there's one hidden zodiac in true sidereal astrology, which is used in this concept called Ophiuchus. And then naturally for me, when I was about to come, I wanted to continue when I'm here. So there was a module on kinesiology and module on posology and middle point, which is finding the healthiest point in the body using kinesiology. I learned a little bit kinesiology first time round in Bali with Dr. Adolf Brown. But since I went back, and because then pandemic started, I didn't have a chance to practice. And it's something you need to really practice almost daily to be able to use that tool. So yeah, when I arrived, the following week, almost a week later, there was module 2, which was the kinesiology one. And then after that, we had the module 3 and 4. And as a part of the alchemy, transformational alchemy course, now we need to take 10 patient cases and prescribe and do 2 follow-ups. So that's like happening as we speak. So that's going to be throughout next few months to complete the cases and present them as a final assignment to complete the course. As a homeopath, I have my own experience since I've been doing homeopathy for some few years now. And yeah, I wanted to join the clinic to see patients as well. And the opportunity, I was given opportunity by Tjok Gde, and I started seeing patients from the beginning of May. So that's really very new still. It's been going on for a few weeks, but I'm very happy that I have this opportunity, and it's something what I was really, really missing while only working online. Now, is this sensation, is different sensation when you have a patient in front of you, when as a homeopath, you are observer, you want to see what they do, how they move, how they behave, and it can give you a lot of different insight to the patient, which you might miss when you are just on the screen. Obviously, online and having a Zoom consultation, that's a given now, and Tjok Gde also does those, and I also do them. However, having a balance between seeing patients in the clinic and having online consultation is a great thing, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity. The day shifts from Europe hasn't changed, so I have evenings with online work, and I'm very happy about how I can combine all. So I can combine both online and in person. So I think it balances out and gives me also opportunity to explore and enjoy Bali when I can and I feel like.
Actually, that's a very good point, because going by your Instagram stories, you certainly do have very relaxing, enjoyable times in the evenings in Bali, which I think are only places like Bali or perhaps the Canary Islands can offer such calming and enjoyable nightlife, I suppose you could call it, socializing with friends and colleagues. Must be really, really nice, isn't it? Just to take some chill time, I suppose, after a very busy and possibly very warm, hot day.
Yeah. The weather is rough. I mean, we are now in a dry season, so the nights and mornings are a bit chilly in Bali terms, because obviously it's not cold. It's like 21, 23 in the morning. And right now it's like 26 degrees and it's already past sunset. So for me, it's still warm, but yeah, we have opportunity. The nightlife is very interesting and calming, but also entertaining here.
I was speaking to Tjok. He mentioned something which I wasn't certainly aware of, and he said that 95% of the population of Indonesia have grown up, and this is the islands as well, of course, have grown up with natural medicine. It could be whatever. It could be Balinese medicine. It could be just herbal medicine, natural therapies, homeopathy, you name it. Everybody is fully aware of using natural medicine, and it's the norm. It's nothing new. So when you mention that, it's very spiritual as well, it's because, I tell you, it's because it's like-minded people. Everybody is on a very similar frequency, aren't they? And it's a very natural frequency. It's not artificial.
Yeah, I agree. And herbs and use of herbs here, of plants, which obviously because of the climate are available, is very, very normal thing. They don't tend to go first thing to the doctor. They would use something more natural and available in their garden, or just outside their home, because they have that knowledge. They pass the knowledge of the herbs from one generation to another, and is still very strong, this connection. I mean, is actually amazing how they are connected with nature here, and connecting with this world, which we might sometimes forget, living in big cities especially, or places where kind of you don't see much nature, or you need to go far to see the nature. And here everything is entitled in the city, and the nature is everywhere. And
Jagoda, you've also authored some books. I know the recent ebook, which I was very fortunate enough to share on my socials, certainly. But do tell us about your most recent book that you've released, which is available to everybody and anybody who's interested in homeopathy and for acute prescribing.
Yes, so I'm a part of, as a member of Homeopathy 24/7, we run different homeopathic groups. And one of them, which I'm a member of, is Homeopathy for strep throat, UTIs, and other infections. And it's been a while. We were planning an ebook, and there was a certain moment I was like, yeah, we need to do it. And I was like very focused, and because of the many different infections, sometimes you think what's important, and I try to select the ones which I felt they were important, and I put them together in a kind of very what's the word, like you don't want to overdo it. You want to just suggest few options.
A very effective but simplified process.
Yes, I try to simplify in a way, because homeopathy can be very complicated, but for purpose of home prescribing, you want to give a lot of clear message here. If the options given here they don't work, then speak with your homeopath. Then it's the time to actually seek advice. So I think I included like 10 different acute conditions at least in the ebook, and hopefully it can be helpful for people who have some type of infections like UTI, strep throat, or croup, or simple colds, sore throat. That's a very common one. Or fevers. Yeah, they have specific remedies that can help if it's caught very early, and having this kind of ebook might speed up in a way of search for the remedy. And obviously, if the remedy doesn't help fully or you're sometimes unsure, it's good to speak with the homeopath, I think, and get prescription. Often, sometimes we might not be so objective with our own symptoms. And when you're unwell, that's even more. That is more difficult to prescribe for yourself. And I know that from my own experience. Like a month ago, I got a migraine, which was so terrible, and some sore throat. And I was trying this remedy, that remedy, even some kinesiology, and nothing worked until I spoke with my homeopath. So unfortunately, when we are unwell, and it's not really advisable to try too much. If 1, 2, or third remedy doesn't work, definitely move to the option of speaking with the homeopath, because otherwise it's confusing the vital force to try too many, but also you kind of prolonging your symptoms and they kind of progressing, so you might be getting worse instead of getting better with the well indicated remedies.
That's so true. I'm terrible at self-prescribing. I find that if I've got whatever condition I've got, I look in the Materia Medica or I repertorise. All remedies obviously come to mind. I just find I'm all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Even a homeopath needs to see a homeopath. We are Absolutely. No different. And actually, because we have a knowledge, we know we are overthinking, and it's like, oh, is this remedy? Oh no, I don't like this one. I don't want this one. And then you go.
That's very true. That's so true, isn't it? Hey?
I don't feel like taking like a podium today.
Yeah.
No.
Let me try another 15 or 20, isn't it? How do listeners get hold of the book?
So it's available on the Homeopathy 24/7 website, and we have a section there on free ebooks. Yeah, all the ebooks are for free. You just go and put your name and email, and you will get a link to download it. And before this ebook, I also released dental surgery ebook, because another group I'm a member of is Homeopathy for Teeth. And I must tell you, you would be amazed the amount of issues with the teeth. I never seen such a thing in my life, especially in teeth in children, which that's inherited, because kids, they have their, well, like everyone, we have our teeth developed in uterus, no? So 1, 2-year-olds, they having big amount of cavities, broken teeth, and in US, for example, they put crowns or do root canals on those. So that's like, whoa, where are you going with this whole procedures and things? So homeopathy is such an amazing tool. We saved really lots of kids with tooth which was, I don't know, almost on the edge of falling because they hit a ball or they had a trampoline accident. So yeah, it's amazing how homeopathy can help. And in the case of teeth, is just incredible results. And we already had the ebook, the general ebook, and I decided to do the surgery, dental surgery, because there is a lot of remedies that can help before, during, and after dental surgery or procedure like extraction. And yeah, I was very, very happy with that ebook as well, because homeopathy, just 2 or 3 remedies normally patient might need around dental surgery, and like it can be, most of the time is arnica, but also some phosphorus might help, nux vomica. If there is anxiety, you might suggest one of the anticipation remedies. And then if, for example, there is an issue with extraction, you might suggest some emerald, and or some pain after extraction, some magphos. So yeah, It's another simple but kind of comprehensive ebook on these remedies. So also you will find it on in the same place if you wish to download. Thank you.
That's also it's just wonderful to know. We certainly know it, but for listeners especially to know that homeopathy is a complete system. You know, it's so comprehensive, and sometimes just everyday things like toothache, or having to go to the dentist for just some dental cleaning, and there's homeopathy for that, which can minimize any damage to the gums or the teeth themselves.
It's such a simple thing in a way. It's just a teething, but it can cause so much distress. And when you help in this kind of situation, it's like it gives relief to whole family because the child stops crying, the mother can have some rest, and it's just incredible how it can affect the whole family with just one or two remedies. And yeah.
Well, that's it's great to know about these books, and with being so busy, I suppose living in Bali is a hobby. It's
One
just,
of them. Yeah.
But do you have time for any hobbies? Actually, I've asked a lot of my guests, and I've always been fascinated. Some people like wood carving, some like plate spinning, some like tinkering around the garden. Some like just long walks, miles and miles. Literally, we're not talking 2 miles. We're talking 50, 60 miles, not in a day, of course, but over a period of a week. So people have, homeopaths have various hobbies. What are yours?
Well, so I love walks. In here it's a bit difficult because the terrain doesn't allow you for long walks. And I mean, there are places where you can take a walk in the nature, which is amazing, which I often do just to ground myself. But I would love to go for like a longer walks. And I used to do that, but not since I arrived, which I need to change. I need to go more maybe to the coast and do some walks there. But what I do on my sort of daily things is yoga, which I really find important for my body and also for my mind. Is grounding and gives me a strength to go through the day. I also do Tai Chi. I'm not sure if that's a hobby, but I do that since 2020 when I first learned in a Tai Chi school in London. So I try to continue this on a kind of daily routine. And I love dancing. And I've been as a child/teenager, I was part of the dancing group with ballet elements of ballet, and that always stays with me, like this love for dancing, but in a classical way, in a way. So yeah, I think that's main things for me. I love swimming as well, which I can do here when I can. That was amazing in Canary Islands, where I had only 20 minutes to the ocean and I could go there daily. And unfortunately, Ubud is not by the coast. That would be too ideal. So it's in the central part of Bali, where you need to take a ride to the coast. So yeah, it's not walkable, but yeah, it's still an island. But yeah, being close to the water and doing walks by the ocean and just being kind of immersed with that. I also love gardening, which I don't have often opportunity, but I had when I was in Canary Islands. And that was a great experience because putting your hands into the dirt, and it gives you so much pleasure. And I was like, I love it. And I was doing some volunteering there, like planting some flowers, and it made me so happy. It's like really going back to nature and doing like planting your own food. Even I'm still waiting to go to Tabanan here, where Tjok Gde has plantation of rice and tea. So I would love to actually go and pick up some things with my own hands, but like weeks going by and always there's something, so not yet. But I hope I can do it in the next few weeks, just to feel this immersion again with the ground, with the soil.
Gardening is 100% agree with you. It is. There's something about that simplicity, which makes it so elegant and so calming and so grounding, you know. But you reminded me something of tea, and Tjok said to me that he was a tea master in Sydney, and he's now started to grow his own tea. So he's promised me that when he comes to the UK, he's going to bring me some tea. His own tea that he's grown in
That's
Bali.
my favorite tea. Did he explain that he does the traditional way, like over the wooden fire?
Oh no, we didn't get into that detail. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, they handpick the tea, and it takes 8 people and 1.5 day to have 3 kilos of the tea. But it's just amazing. So they handpick, and then they dry by drying on a special metal platforms over the wooden fire, like in traditional Chinese way. And it's like an oolong tea. It's not green tea, it's oolong, but it has this smokiness, and really I just finished the pack today, and I was like, oh, it's called Nagaloka, and it's really great. It's my favorite.
I look forward to that now. I look forward to getting that. Jagoda, what are you up to for the next sort of several months? Course, practitioner's course, of course, patients, anything else? Are you looking at perhaps writing another book, or authoring another book, should I say?
Possibly, yes, but I haven't yet had a thought. I just released the last ebook last week, so I'm like, I might take a little break. But yeah, definitely, it's gonna be busy summer with the clinic, and trying to complete my patients to complete the certificated course. And I don't have much plans yet, because what I'm focusing now is like I want to see more and more patients, so building up a little bit my practice here, and I'm just taking weeks as they come, to be honest. When Tjok is focusing more on teaching, I can help him in a clinic. So yeah, it's like evolving. It's a sort of phase of change there. So I don't have much expectation, but I'm welcoming anything what happens with my open heart. So that's me. I've been here just 3 months, and it just feels like, oh my God, already 3 months since I arrived. It feels unreal still. So
Time flies. Time flies when you're in paradise, eh?
Yes, definitely.
Jagoda Salewska, it's been absolutely wonderful and delightful and insightful speaking to you, having, you share your experiences and insights into homeopathy, and I hope very soon you will come back and we can talk some more. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Atik, for having me on the Homeopathy Health Show. I'm really, really privileged and honored to be here, and thank you for this possibility to share my experience and a little bit craziness of traveling and seeing different things, but really, really grateful for our talk and ability to share. Thank you so much.
And that was Jagoda Salewska sharing her experiences and insights of life at the Tirta Usada Clinic. I must actually take this opportunity to thank both Tjok and Jagoda for guesting on the Homeopathy Health Show, and look forward to inviting them back in the very near future. Now, do remember, you can follow the latest show trailers, guest videos, and much more by following my official Instagram account, which is @like_treatslike, and also Facebook, which is @liketreatslike. So until next week, stay safe. I do hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of the Homeopathy Health Show. Please do support the show by clicking follow on my socials. Remember, the more exposure the podcast receives, the better for homeopathy around the world. You can find me on Instagram by searching for @like_treatslike, and on both Facebook and TikTok by searching for @like_treatslike. So let's promote the voice of homeopathy on radio and podcast around the world together. Don't forget to visit me online at www.liketreatslike.co.uk and click on the radio and podcast tab. Here you'll be able to see all the guests that have joined me on the show so far, and of course you can stream on demand the latest episode to your mobile, tablet or PC. Until next time, stay safe and take care.